So currently this week, who has their current interviews? Anyone for upcoming interviews?
I have my interview on 22nd May for Great Eastern.
Okay.
So does anyone have any other? Have anyone got the call from Great Eastern regarding interviews?
I think Rutik also has, but he's just having some slight network issue. He'll be back soon. So
Okay.
yeah, but I think he also is part of the Great Asian interview, so we can mainly focus on today the non-technical side of things. So Surfraj, that's how you pronounce it, right? Or is it Sarfraj?
Yeah. Surprise Parvez.
Okay, Sarfraj. So first thing is tell me about yourself.
So as you know, my name is Surprise Parvez. I basically belong to a small village named Tiok in Assam. I did my schooling from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. Then I did my mechanical engineering, which I completed in 2022. Sorry, 2021. And after that, I was working in a telecom infrastructure company for 1 year. And then I got a chance to work with Paneet sir, Merchant Navy Decoded for as an intern. And currently, from 5 months, I'm working for him.
Okay. So in this you've actually skipped a few parts such as your family backgrounds.
Yeah. I skipped it. I just forgot
Yeah,
and
so you have to keep
skipped.
keep in mind that
Yeah.
to add all of that. So you can mention,
I
yeah.
arranged it before my schooling part. I thought
Hmm.
of adding my family part and
So once you finish school, then you can come to family part.
yeah. Okay.
So you can mention, how many brothers, sisters, parents, occupations, all of that part to
Yes.
add that front as well.
Correct.
So
I
that's,
just skipped it.
yeah, yeah.
Forward. I actually forward it.
Yeah, no issue. So you can just make note that for this particular question, you should add that part as well because they're just trying to, gauge what kind of background you have, whether you have someone who's already, sailing in the family or something like that. Okay, so next thing is going to be, does anyone have any else or anything else to add to this specific question? If not, we can proceed to the next since this one is pretty, straightforward. So looks like no questions for this one. Let's we move on to what are your strengths and weaknesses?
In STEMs, I will say that I'm a hardworking guy and I have eager to learn. Uh, because when I was in my first job, it was a different field from mechanical engineering. At first, I didn't knew anything, so I started giving it more time. I started asking questions to the seniors. I giving it more after giving it more time. Slowly, I gained few knowledge about the profession. And the second one I would say that discipline. From my schooling days, I was in NCC and I have done a few NCC camps from which I got a discipline. And the third one, I will say I'm a team player. I from the schooling days, I was playing hockey. I was a regional hockey player, and uh, as a team, we have to work in constantly with everybody for the game to be better. We to give a better performance. That's why I'm saying that I'm a team player.
Okay. So feedback on this answer will be you have mentioned that you had discipline because of NCC. So that is like proof.
Yes,
You're saying discipline and you have the proof to back it up, which is NCC. But you
yes,
also
correct.
mentioned hard work. So what is the proof for that? So you'd have to find, some event or some sort of thing that you did that shows that okay, hardworking or team player.
Yeah.
Because only one of them has proof now. NCC and discipline means okay, that's accepted. So what about the rest? So you'll have to.
For hard work, I was thinking to say about the first job because it was a different profession. I didn't have any knowledge regarding it. That's why I told that I started giving it more time, asking questions to seniors. I was in office after my completion of the time period of my job after
Okay.
9 to 5. It was a 9 to 5 job, but I stayed a little bit late to gain some more
Yeah, so you can
knowledge.
mention that if you say right now you stayed extra time or overtime, to try and cope up with
Correct.
the new thing because, as you said, it was slightly different for you to immediately shift into that. So, but you spent the extra time, whatever was needed to, get into that as fast as possible and, increase your performance. So maybe you can also talk in some kind of, punctuality with regards to your work because when you say work, that's one thing that, you can easily tie in over there. So if possible, you can show some thing of punctuality and meeting deadline, something like that, because that also is a very good skill that a worker should have. Okay. Anyone else has anything else to add to this question? Or how would you answer this question of you've only answered about strengths? What about weaknesses before that?
Weakness, I will say that I'm not giving much attention to my health.
Hmm.
After leaving college, I have stopped playing, so I think I should give more attention to my health. And the second one is that I need to work on my communication. Sometimes I feel that I'm lagging behind because of my communication. I couldn't express fully.
Okay. So you're working on both of them.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm working on
How
both.
is it? Is what you have to say.
For the communication part, I am currently I speak more in English with every friends and all.
Okay.
And I used to have a South Indian friend, so he doesn't know Hindi. That was the best part for me. So I started talking in English with him, and which is helping me a lot. And for the health part, from few months I have reduced my junk food. That's what's
Okay.
helping me.
So you're actively trying to work on them. So that's very important to mention how, not just stating it simply. So in terms of strengths, you have to give the proof. So when you say discipline, how, everything is how. And in weaknesses, you given your weakness, then also how are you working to get past that weakness is the thing that you're supposed to complete the full part. Okay, so anyone else will be attempting what are your strengths and weaknesses. Now that you have the feedback of this one, try to attempt it properly. Anyone else? Maybe Harshal or Amston. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, so now you mentioned that this is back again to Sarfraj now.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were doing your job, all of this was going well, very nice. So what motivated you to join Merchant Navy?
First, I was preparing for Indian Navy,
Okay,
but unfortunately, I was not selected in Indian Navy. So I think Merchant Navy has pretty some common grounds. It's a second line of defense. It has we need to be disciplined. We have uniform, and it's a tough life. So that's why I want to join Merchant Navy.
okay. So in this case, you just mentioned that you had Indian Navy, so it's pretty clear. Okay, so we can go to the next one, which is why Anglo-Eastern.
Actually, it should be Great Eastern because I'm not eligible
Yeah,
for
yeah, no, but
Anglo.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
whichever company. So why
yeah,
X?
yeah,
If you want to say Great Eastern, then fine. Since you have
yeah,
Great Eastern coming up next, let's make it
yeah.
why Great Eastern.
So I think I can give my 100% towards the company. And as I said, in my strength that I am a hardworking guy and I am disciplined. So I can bring it all to the table. I can give my everything 100%, and I am eager to learn. So I can grow with time. I can gain more knowledge.
Okay, so this is mainly talking about you, but not too much on what Great Eastern exactly can do for you. So
Yeah,
you
I have
might
not
have to work
prepared.
on getting some feedback specific to Great Eastern, like what are the type of ships that they have, so that if they have multiple like tankers, containers, then you can say I have a diversity of ships that I can get on board. So you'll have to
Okay,
get
okay.
some few points of Great Eastern specifically. Then you can check out like their institute that they have, how long has it been established. So you can say they have a well established institute as well for proper training of their cadets or whatever. So you'll have to do some work on this question because it is high chance that this might come.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you can keep note that you need to keep in mind some parts of that specific company that you are looking for and what do they have specifically. So you can say that they have whatever number of ships, and then if you can memorize the main divisions, like they have one third of whatever tankers or what, then you can say that they have a vast diversity in all of this and things like that. Okay,
Yes.
so then how are you going to tackle loneliness in this profession? Because as you mentioned, it's going to be a tough profession. So how are you planning to manage this loneliness?
Loneliness. I I read books. I love reading books. And I'm planning to get few books with me whenever I will be in ship. So whenever I feel lonely, I will just to pass my time. I will just read books, and I like playing video games. so I can play video games. And whenever I will get time, whenever I will get the chance to talk with family, I'll talk to my parents, my family.
Okay. So all of these ideas that you have mentioned, right? Books, video games, they all making you confined. So it's like as if Sarfaraz will just be locked in his room on the ship. There's no communication with others. You get it right, because books means
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
in your room,
yeah, yeah.
games means
Confined
you're
with
in your
myself.
room,
Yeah.
parents
Yes.
talking on your room, everything in
Yeah.
room only.
No,
So
no,
there's no
not with anybody else.
community at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, so that's one
Yeah.
thing that can be a red flag when you answer like that. So that's one thing to keep in mind.
Yes.
Okay, because that's the thing that sometimes we miss out, like we say all the
Correct,
proper
correct. I
things,
was
but if
not
you
thinking of that
miss
point.
one point, it changes the full meaning of the thing.
Yeah.
So you
I
can
was not
keep in
thinking of
mind,
the point.
because you can just say like, apart from this, I'll also have proper communications during lunchtime or whatever with my seniors, or even deck side people, whatever. So you can mention that. Okay, so the next question is, what if you don't get selected? What's your plan B?
So I think I will get selected. And
Okay.
if this time I will be rejected, then I will apply for the next time. I want to join merchant navy and I will get selected.
Okay, so that means you're sure, not like one time, if it's not, then I'll go back to my job, something like that. If not,
Uh,
you'll try it again and
yes, I will
persevere.
try it. I have to join.
Okay, so that's a great answer. Okay, so what is your best memory of life?
Best memory of my life, I would say that during my NCC days, during my NCC camps, in one of our camps, that was the RDC camps. So I had a very good time in that camp. We were the youngest guys. We were in class 10 and we were the youngest. And that was the RDC camp. So they were preparing us for, there was selection going on for the Republic Day parade. And that was a great experience. We got to learn a lot of things from the officers, from the army officers. And that was a great time.
Okay, so Rutik, are you able to speak now? I think he still has some network issues. What about Ajay or a judge and Amson? Can any of you speak? I think we'll come back to them because we have a ton of questions. Okay. So once we're done with this, is so you mentioned this was your best one. What was your most emotional memory of your childhood? What did you learn from that?
Emotional memory, I would say that when I was 11 years old, I went to residential school. Went to a boarding school, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. So I was just 11 years old, I was admitted in class 6, and that was the most emotional moment for me when I left home, when I was detached from my family.
Okay.
That was the
So this is
most,
also a good sign that you're mentioning that you have lived before without your family. So
yeah,
it is not something that is new for you. Certainly there won't be any kind of shock.
yeah.
So that's a good thing that you can mention. Okay, I think Rutik can also
I
speak
think I
now.
should mention this part in my introduction too, correct?
No, that might be a little bit too weird to mention in introduction,
Yeah,
but somewhere later on in these other questions you can bring it up, like, so maybe in part of your strength and weaknesses also you can bring it up, that
correct,
you have
correct. In
experience
sense,
in homesickness will not be a big issue for you.
yeah.
So you can bring it up slightly in a different route, but in introduction only it becomes slightly too pushy kind of a deal. So strength and weaknesses is a high probability question, so in that you can definitely bring it up. Okay, so Rutik, coming back to you now, can you answer on the what are your strengths and weaknesses?
Just 1 second, I'm coming.
Sure, sure, sure. Rutik? No, you're not audible. You'll have to get the mic slightly closer. No, we still can't hear you. Go ahead and speak some sentence or something. Or you can try joining from phone or something without any headset. Okay, I think he's still having some network issues. So, Surface, are you back?
Yes, yes, I'm back.
Okay. So, next thing is we go to the next questions that we had to talk about. What was the last time you felt guilty? Why?
Last time I felt guilty.
Hmm.
We have to think about it. Yeah, when my grandmother passed away, I felt guilty
Okay.
because see, when I was in hostel, after hostel too, I used to when I was in coaching, I still not choose to stay at home. I stayed at PG away from home. At that time, she was sick and she was calling me like she
Okay.
wanted to stay. She wanted that I should stay at home and give more time with her. So she loved me a lot and I also loved her a lot, but still I couldn't give her time. And I think that after she passed away, it was the most guilty moment for me.
Okay. So that's a proper answer. Everything is proper. And why also you have specified everything. So the answer is complete. Okay. So next we have, how do you manage stress and pressure in a fast paced working environment? What works for you in managing your stress and pressure, in difficult situations? How do you tackle it?
In regarding stress, I think that if I'm not giving my 100%, then I'm thinking if I'm not working or something, then I think the stress increases more. But if
Okay.
I'm preparing for something or if I'm doing my job properly, then there's not a lot of stress. But yeah, pressure will be definitely there to handle pressure. Uh, I enjoy it being with friends,
Okay.
some good talks, some good topics, some discussions, spend time with friends, play games, and talk with my family too.
Okay. So this is all after that, but what in the work environment where you are right now, you have your teammates. So you can also mention you'll try to distribute work properly, avoid any miscommunications, things like that. Because sometimes due to miscommunication, you might be doing something wrong, and then again you have to correct that and do it the correct way. So because of miscommunication, it might cause more problems. So you can say, as I have the team working spirit or whatever, I will help coordinate the team so that the problem is being worked at in the correct direction from the first try, so that additional tries are not needed in fixing the mistakes that we did due to miscommunication or lack of knowledge, something like that. So you can bring your strengths in this question also. So you're bringing your strength of teamwork into this.
Correct, yes.
So you need to keep in mind how to link everything up.
Okay, yes.
Okay, Rutik, can you speak now? I think you still had the mic issue last time.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now we can hear you. So next question goes to you. How do you communicate with your colleagues who speak in different languages and come from different cultures? So how will you deal with this and communicate with them?
Okay. First of all, I'll try to. I'll be a good listener. Um, like I'll try to listen whatever they are saying first by their height and gestures and all things. I'll try to understand whatever they are trying to tell me, and I'll try to understand their language.
Okay. So one more thing you can add is, maybe you said only hand gestures. What about paintings, or not paintings but sketches on a paper? So you can add
Yes,
maybe
right.
this also. So let's say you need to do some kind of thing to a certain cycle or something, like the evaporator compressor is wrong in your VCRS cycle. So you can maybe draw that cycle, circle this like this. So you can say, I'll try to explain what I'm trying to speak in terms of sketches. And you can say also, try and learn main basics of their language which I need for daily communication, or certain keywords,
Yes,
something like that. So you can add these points as well to slightly boost up your answer. Okay. So next question also goes to you, Rutik. Can you give me an example of a time where you had to adapt to new challenges or unexpected challenges that suddenly came up?
Sorry, I didn't understand
Yeah, so the question is, give me an example of how you adapted. So that means how did you cope up, or how did you deal with the situation when suddenly some unexpected challenges came up your way, or suddenly some new challenges came up your way? How did you cope up or deal with it? So in their English, they've mentioned is how will you adapt, but that simply means how will you deal with new challenges that suddenly come unexpectedly.
First of all, whenever this situation comes in front of me, I'll try to be as calm as possible because sometimes we get over panic and we put ourselves in that situation that all the things get messed up. So I'll try to get calm and solve the problem. So that will
Okay.
definitely help me.
Okay. And then coming back to the previous questions is, what if you don't get selected? What next?
If I don't get selected, first of all, I would like to listen the reason for why I'm not selected, and then I'll work on it, and I'll give another attempt.
Okay. And then tell me, when is the last time you felt guilty, and what did you learn from that, or why?
Sorry, I'm not prepared for this question.
Yeah, so this is also a common question which can be, uh, when is the last time you felt guilty, and it is similar to when is the last
I
time
got
you
it.
cried. So you can prepare for these two questions. And we had seen the answer from Sarfaraz that he mentioned a true life example of where he felt guilty, and what was the reason, all of that. So some kind of thing like this you can check out, and think about what has happened and come up with an answer based on that.
Yes.
Okay, so next we go to the next question now. Okay, so coming back to, can any of the other members speak? Amston or Ahmed, can you guys speak? If not, we'll have to go back to Sarfraz for this question. Okay, so Amson says there's some background noise, so hopefully you're keeping in mind all of the answers and the key points of how to ensure that your answer is fully complete. You don't want to keep any inconsistencies or anything incomplete. So going back to Sarfraz, can you speak?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have to tell me is, how will you ensure that safety is maintained in whatever you're doing? Why is it important for you? Is safety important for you, first of all? And if yes, how are you going to ensure that it is always maintained? If not by you, if you see someone else doing something without safety, then what are the steps you will take?
Yes, safety is very important for me. We are working in a dangerous environment, so safety is very important for us, for everyone. So, regarding the safety, to avoid any incident, I will follow all the safety procedures that are given. For machinery, I will follow all the manuals. And if somebody else is not following the safety, then I will talk to him. If he is a senior, also, then I will ask him politely in such a manner that he doesn't feel offended. But it's good to discuss if somebody is not following safety. Directly, personally, talk to him.
Yeah. Okay. So as you mentioned, yeah, safety is good. You'll read the manuals, which is a very important keyword in this answer. Manuals are your friend, so that should be mentioned in this answer. And you said you'll help, politely communicate with the seniors if they are the people who are involved, or maybe if you are the senior, then you can obviously instruct your junior to you know proceed with the proper safety required. And maybe you can even say, I can, when communicating, give them some real world examples, or when I'm communicating with them in general, of some safety mishaps that took place. Because let's say you have sailed a few contracts, you now have experience, so you know that while doing this sort of engine repair, or this particular thing, this might possibly happen, because you have seen about it. So this past experiences you can talk about before. There's a toolbox meeting, right, before you get on to any major task. So during that you can share this, saying that I've seen this happen, so let's be aware of this and take the proper precautions. So once everyone knows that there's a risk of this, high chance that they will follow everything as you mentioned, with discipline and proper safety measures. So that's one thing on that. Okay, so the next question is, how will you handle conflicts or disagreements with different uh, seafarers with you on board, and even seniors on board and you? So how will you handle disagreements or arguments on board?
I will first of all try to avoid arguments. If we are discussing on a topic and it goes to a certain point that it becomes an argument, then I will just try to avoid or go to some different topic to avoid that particular topic. Uh, and what was the second part? If somebody else is
No, no. So coming to like your normal seafarers or even seniors, so
with
someone,
me,
yeah, on with you.
okay, I will try to avoid arguments
Okay, at all cost.
at all cost. I will try to avoid argument with seniors. Yeah, with my friends too. I first of all, I personally, if some argument, if something is happening, I try to avoid it.
Okay, and what if suppose two seniors are in argument? Will you try to take one side or something? How will you deal with that situation? So two seniors are higher than you, both are higher than you, are in an argument. So how will you deal with that situation?
In that situation, I will not pick a side. I will try to be neutral. I will just uh, try politely try to calm the situation down.
Okay,
And if I have other seniors with me, if they were not present at the same situation, but if they were in other places, then I will just call them and let them handle and do the best. And I will
okay.
try my best.
Yeah, so you can mention all of this. You can even mention like, I'll try to slightly communicate slowly, give them some space in that heated moment. Once they cool down, then I'll try to just work on whatever is needed, not keep on coming over that argument related topic or whatever. So you can divert it into something else and carry on, as they say.
Regarding my the other question, the last
Which
one
one?
that the question regarding my
Conflicts?
the last
Safety, the
communication.
safety one, right?
Yeah, regarding the safety.
Hmm.
No, no, not the safety one. I think this one argument. I
Okay.
said that at any cost, I will try to avoid the argument. Right?
Hmm.
Will it be the best answer? Because
So
personally, I try to avoid argument, so that's why I said the answer.
yeah, but then you have later clarified that even you'll try to avoid it first, but then later you'll try to slowly divert it in a calm way. So not completely, because you
Yeah,
cannot just suddenly walk away from argument.
yeah,
That's not
yeah, yeah.
possible.
Correct,
So
correct.
later I took it in your answer that you said that you'll politely try to slightly divert the topic into something else, so you can diffuse the heated moment.
Correct.
Because otherwise it looks like, yeah, I think Rutik will also like to take a try on this question. So Rutik, the question goes to you now. How will you handle conflicts
Uh,
and disagreements on board?
as a junior on board, I will try to acknowledge and respect the senior's decision or position, and I will try to put all my initial energy into understanding their point of view and appreciating them.
Okay, and then
I'll
what
try to
if?
avoid
Okay, so you're
because
saying that.
yeah,
Hmm.
initially I don't find myself in that position of argument with seniors.
Okay, so you're saying you will try to avoid it at all costs. But what if two seniors are fighting? Then not fighting, but in an argument or disagreement.
If
What are your steps
yes,
in this case? Will you take a side
if
or
two
something?
seniors are in if two seniors are in arguments, I'll try to sort out the matter between them because and not take a particular individual side. This will increase the intensity of that argument. So I try to sort out the matter between them, and we need to be working together. So I think that will be better step.
Okay, so in this reply you have mentioned, I will try to sort it out. So this slightly becomes, a slightly a red flag, because let's say captain and chief engineer are in an argument. Cadet cannot try to help out the
Yes,
argument like that. So maybe try to avoid this specific sentence. You can just say, I'll try to check out what the actual argument is about, and try to work on that topic separately, but not specifically
yes,
disclose it to them, because that will be sort of slightly weird. Okay, so next question goes to Ritik. As you know that when you're on board a ship, you'll be on sea for 6 months or whatever, 8 months. So how will you stay up to date with the
yes.
industry? Yeah.
Yes, I'll on my camera.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Sure.
So by doing so, I think I will
Yeah.
be
Good. Good. Good.
benefited for point.
So next question is, as you know, on board you'll be on board for 6 months or 8 months as per your contract. So how will you try and stay up to date with any industry developments or some regulation changes? How will you stay up to date?
I stay towards my basics clear to get up to date
No, see,
about.
basics is your normal knowledge, but up to date means there'll be some new rules coming in, all of that. So how will you stay up to date in that? So you'll have to specify something that whenever there's some emails or some posters put up on the ship regarding new regulations, I'll go ahead, spend the time, read all of that, understand that. So I get some knowledge from that. Then apart from that, there'll be some specific letters that are sent, like Marpol, new rules, something that way. So you cannot simply disobey that, because it can be a big criminal offense. So whenever the new rule is there, I'll specifically spend the time needed to understand all of that, and then abide by those new rules. So you can mention this, nothing to do with your basic knowledge. Basic knowledge will remain the same. This is new rules which come. So you can mention something like that.
Regarding all that refrigerant
Yeah, so regarding maybe where you can dump your water or sewage, overall
wastage.
what speed of the ship, all of that. So these rules might keep on changing, or some port might tell it differently. So you can even say, I'll ask the bridge if there's any specific regulations for this specific port, and based on that we can work out. Okay, we have Jackpot joining us. So let's give the same question to Jackpot right now. So Jackpot, can you hear us and can you speak?
Yes, sorry, I just forgot it.
Okay, no issues, no issues. So the question goes to you, Jackpot. How will you stay up to date with the new industry developments or new regulations when on board on a ship?
What should I answer for that?
So mainly, what you can say is, first of all, whenever you come on land, you'll be obviously up to date with whatever. But when on board a ship, you can say that whenever there's some new important rules, there'll be some posters of it on a notice board or something. So you can say, I'll go ahead first of all and make sure to spend time to understand and read what is put up over there, what are the benefits of that, or what are the main reasons for that. And apart from that, you can say, let's say you come into a specific port, and that port has specific guidelines. You can just say, I'll again have a report of that port, but I'll also contact the bridge and ask if there's any specific abnormal regulations by this specific port that I need to abide by. So you can just mention these two things for that.
Okay, bro.
Okay, so the next thing goes back to Rutik now. Marine Insight. Yeah, so if there's any sort of
Yes,
magazine or something, you can definitely mention. If you have some electronic means to get it, you can for sure mention that. So coming back to Rutik now is, how will you deal with bad seniors on board?
I will try not to be in that argument phase because I'm a junior, I don't see myself in that position.
Okay. But this is not too much about argument. This is just like in general, just a bad person giving you extra work here, there, simply making you run around here and there.
Yes.
So,
Uh, so whatever assignments his particular person is giving me, I'll try to complete all the assignments, and I try to impress him by doing all the assignments, whichever assignments he is giving to me.
okay. So you can also mention that finally at the end of the day, I know that this is just a simple phase. It's not going to be permanent forever. So nothing to get completely frustrated upon or something. I'll keep my mind stable that everything is just going to be, as it is. And I can take it as a learning experience. So maybe I'll learn some things that I have not done before. So I can overall just take it as a learning experience and keep my cool in the whole situation. So maybe we can pass the same question now to Jackpot right now. So Jackpot, how will you deal with bad seniors on board?
No, I don't consider him as a like not, what do you say, third person. I will make I will do whatever thing he says and finish the work. Let him make us trust on me. It's not a new person to us like that.
Okay, so same thing, as you guys said that you won't keep a bad sort of impression. Whatever he says, you'll just be getting it done as soon as possible. So same thing, even we have Amston coming up with by saying that by hard working, one can try to change his, mindset. So you might think that, okay, this guy just simply wants to finish up his contract or something, but showing that you are trustworthy and all of that, he might understand that, okay, I can actually give this guy proper work and not just make him run around or whatever. So you can help change his mindset with proper hard work. So that's again a good point. Okay, so now we come to the next question, which goes to, let's see what the next question is. Okay, so the next question goes to Sarfaraz.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, how will you maintain a positive attitude and motivation during long periods being away from home or in challenging conditions? How will you keep yourself with a positive attitude and motivation?
Uh, the positive attitude, to maintain a positive attitude, whenever I will feel that, can you please repeat the second
Yeah.
part?
So the main thing is, how will you keep a positive attitude and motivation, mainly during long periods away from home and in challenging situations?
During long periods, I will talk to my family. Whenever I will feel low, then I will talk to my parents. And during challenging situations, there will be my teammates, my seniors. I will just talk to them. And if I'm feeling very low, then I will just talk to others.
Okay.
Talk through it. I will just try to talk through it.
Okay. So talk through it is one way. Any other way that you plan on boosting up your motivation?
Uh, yeah, what should I say?
So here you can try mentioning something like a role model.
Okay, yeah.
So you can say, like, let's say for example, now you are at some lower rank, then you can keep a higher rank as your next goal. So you can even make a
Okay,
goal
okay,
as your
yeah.
motivation.
Correct, yeah.
So I think Jackpot would also like to attempt the same question. So the question goes to Jackpot now is, how will you maintain a positive attitude and motivation during long periods away from home or in challenging situations?
I will take the role model as a chief engineer who is working on my ship itself.
Okay.
By look at him, he will face new challenges like us when he are joined as a trainee. and he faced everything and passed through it as and went up to chief engineer. Why can't we? I will take as a challenge.
Okay. So role model is one. What about anything else apart from that? So basically, what you have replied is you have replied one part of it, which is role model, and then Sarfaraz has mentioned another part, which is going to be communication to try and talk about it and solve that part, as well as when he said he was feeling long periods away from home, then he'll try to communicate with his parents and all of those things. So you have to merge both of these for the complete answer, which is going to be communication number one, because that also brings your strength of communication and teamwork. So from there you're connecting that to this, and apart from that, second point is going to be what is your motivation. So when you say motivation, we need a goal or a target to reach, so that's your role model, which is going to give you your motivation. So we need to combine both of these for the complete answer on this specific question. Okay. So coming back to jackpot now, how will you communicate if your other colleagues or other seamen on the same ship on board with you are speaking different languages or are from different cultures? So how will you deal with that?
It's like more like it's a common language is to speak in English because we don't have a common language other than the English.
Okay.
And I will try to make some new common words. If you are staying in Chennai, you will learn some Tamil words, right? Like
Okay.
that, I will learn some few words of his language and make him combine with him and do so. If he is celebrating any uh, festivals, like something else, I will join with him like that.
Okay, so this is a great point that you have added about the festivals. So Jackpot, when we had asked the other members, what they mentioned is they'll also try using languages by hand. So maybe if they're saying they need something to be hammered, so they'll try to make a hammer, motion. Or if they need a screwdriver, they'll try to show the screwdriver motion. So you can mention hand signs or hand gestures to try and communicate. Or you can even say, I'll try to sketch out what I need. So if I need VCRS compressor, I can draw the VCRS and just circle the compressor saying X or something, or question mark saying go check this out. So you can mention something like that to try and communicate what part you're trying to deal with. And apart from that, coming to the other two guys, which is Sarfraz and Rutik, we can also add this good point that Jackpot has mentioned, which is in terms of the cultural part of things, I'll try to participate in their festivals as well, so that they don't feel left out.
Yes,
So
it's a
that's
good point.
another very important point for cultural type of communication or sharing in the culture. So great point, Jackpot. Okay, so next we have is this question now goes to Rutik. Okay, so can you describe a time when you had to work as a team to solve a problem?
Uh, my final year project, I would like to make.
Okay, so we need more clarity on that. So you have to explain everything of
Uh,
what was the
we
team.
were having
Yeah.
we were having five students of group of five students, and we were working on an IC engine subject of a project. So that was our experience working as a team. We were working as a team for
Okay.
that project.
Okay. Is that it for your answer?
No, I'm with the conflict. Also, there was some experience that lots of students were having different perspective, different points. So we have to understand while working in a team that other points of view.
Okay. So what you understood is that when working in a team, you have to keep in mind to respect and observe or understand or listen to what other points of view are from other members in the team, just so that everyone feels like they are not being ignored, that they also are part of the team, and whatever they are saying in the work is being contributed. So anyone else who would like to attempt the same thing? Maybe Jackpot, can you describe a time where you had to work in a team to solve a problem? What did you learn from it?
Most of the missionaries working, we can't do it alone. We should have a teammate or a colleague to work with us, to guide us to work with it.
Hmm. No, but the question mainly is, what have you done in the past? So is there any past activity where you had to work in a team? What did you learn from that? So till date, any activity or some kind of challenge that you did where you needed a team of members, and what did you learn from that?
No, currently I can't able to. I couldn't get the words to explain.
Okay, so you'll have to slightly work on this, because this can be a question in case you mentioned regarding teamwork. They might say that, give me an example of where this teamwork of yours was seen in the past, and how you learned from it, or something like that. So you might have to prepare on this. Yeah, Jackpot, you can go ahead.
No, bro, I have to work on it.
Okay, sure. So just keep in mind that you'll have to work on that part. So maybe you can pass on the question to Sarfaraz as well. So can you describe a
Yeah.
time where you had to work as a team and to solve a problem, and what did you learn from that experience?
In this question, can I share the experience, past experience from my college?
Yeah, any experience where you had a team and you learned something from that.
Okay.
If you can show that you are leading the team, even better.
Okay. So yeah, I have one experience. So when I was in college, we have college fest, and we were in our final year. So we were facing a problem regarding the sponsors for the college fest. So we are not getting sponsors to make a successful college fest.
Okay.
So we made a team. We divided. We were 6 members. So we divided it, and we started visiting different offices who have earlier given sponsorship sponsors to the college fest and all.
Okay.
So, and finally we got sponsors from Red Bull. Red Bull was creating an event in Northeast regarding the dirt bike festival. So finally we got a sponsorship from Red Bull, which was a very big thing. We went to the Red Bull zonal student zonal officer. So Red Bull has a student
Okay.
office for every zone, like in one state. So we met him first. We started meeting different zonal officers, and then at least when they when we give them an idea, so what are the things we are going to do in the fest, and they liked our ideas, and finally they said yes.
Okay.
That was one experience.
So this was the event, or the the task that took place. What did you learn from this?
Okay, I learned from this that if something is not going well, we were in the last phase that our deadline, the deadline that our event was in after 2 weeks, and still we are not getting any sponsors. But we are trying hard. We are trying our best. Whole day we are visiting to other people's offices and all. So I got an experience. I got the learning that if something is not happening, it will happen by time. We just need to be patient and work hard,
Okay.
and it will follow the path.
So giving it your best and hard work again. You could have just simply sat in your AC room, sent emails. If they want, they will read. But you said no. I'll take the team. Go physically.
Yes,
Checking who is willing to sponsor, so that things get done. I don't have to wait for reply, and then back and forth, back and forth. Immediately there, you can clear up the whole thing and finish off the sponsorship deal. So you showed some hard work in there and perseverance as well to get it done, and at the same time you had a deadline, so it was not like wasting time. Immediately here there. So great event or activity for this answer. Okay, so your next question goes to, now you said that you are great in managing all of this, so the cross question to this can be, how will you prioritize to manage your workloads when facing multiple tasks? Let's say there are multiple tasks, how will you prioritize your workload and time?
I will first I will first schedule it. I will just divide my time. I will just schedule each task. First, I will do the uh, task which I need to complete. That has a strict deadline. That will be my first priority. Then the following tasks. Then I will just divide it in such a way that I need to complete it in different in these time zones, and I think I can finally complete each task in
Okay.
this time zones.
What about Jackpot? Would you like to take a try on this question, which is how will you try to prioritize your time to you have a workload of multiple tasks with deadlines. So how will you manage your time and manage the workload is the question.
First, I will finish my works because this can be taken anytime you want, but work has to be done in shift. It should not be delayed. If anything is delayed, then total total will be collapse. Like we can't do nothing.
No, so this is not your own personal task. This is ship task only. So let's say, for example, there's some main engine overall going on. So you have that task, but at the same time, you are in charge of, let's say, freshwater generator. So you have to maintain that also. So now you have freshwater generator plus the main engine work. So how will you manage this works? Because both are important. You need water to drink. Yeah.
Because it has to be work done to move the ship.
Hmm.
Next only I have to go to the freshwater generator.
Okay. So you will also take it into what is more priority for not only you but for everyone. So if the ship cannot move, then what's the point of water? So you because cargo cannot stop is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, great point. So not only what is on top priority for you, but you'll also see what is the larger need in terms of everyone else also, and that is what you'll try to complete first, and then come back to the second thing in order.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, so coming back to the final thing, we can say that we can take the point from Jackpot, which is he's going to check out what is going to be the most impactful in terms of not only him but for the thing situation around him. So in onboard ship, it's going to be what is the main need of the ship. And we can also come to Surfaraz's thing, which is going to be about scheduling. So he can say, okay, once I know I need to work here, so I'll put in these many hours here I can go take some rest, then come back to this work, and planning out the whole day perfectly so that there is no waste of time or anything like that. The whole day will be used up very effectively. So great points that we can combine to form the final answer. So we're coming to the fewer ending questions now. Most of them we have tackled out. Okay, so Jackpot, coming to you. We have already done this with Sarfraz, etc., or maybe Rokit. Rutik is, sir, Jackpot. How will you deal with loneliness in this profession of merchant navy?
Nowadays the ship having Wi-Fi, so no need of feeling uh, loneliness in ship because olden days only we don't have phone calls or Wi-Fi internet connectivity in ship. But nowadays upcoming ships are coming with Wi-Fi, so we can call our friends or family members whenever you want. So spend time with them in our restaurants.
Okay.
So there is not much loneliness I will feel while traveling in ship.
Okay. So I think similar answer was given by Sarfraz for one point, which is he'll talk to his parents. I think he had mentioned he'll talk to his parents and then he'll read a book and play video games. But all of these probably three activities you see is going to keep you in your own room. So it looks like Jackpot is just going to be with himself only, no communication with other members on board the ship. So this can be a slight negative, because it looks like, okay, Jackpot is just trying to remain like an introvert or something like that. So you can also mention, yeah, I think Rutik would also like to add on that.
Also, we can mention right, from my school time, I was in hostel, so there won't be any problem regarding loneliness. But still, if we felt at some point loneliness, then I'll try to communicate with other crew members, talk with them. I'll do some activities like gym, workout, reading books.
Yeah. So that's again another point that you can add. So as of now, what we had was you only had Wi-Fi, books, and video games, which is all keeping you inside your own room and making like a shield or a shell. So person cannot remain in the shell only on board the ship, because there's only 20 people. So if everyone becomes a shell, then there won't be any communication at all. So you can mention that coming to loneliness, in the past I've already lived in a hostel, I've already stayed out from my parents' house, so I have some experience in that. So it will not be very severe for me, I won't feel severe homesickness. But in case I'm feeling low or something, apart from some books to try and read, I will also try to communicate with other members on board the ship. Yeah, Jackpot, you're trying to say, just so that you can
Yeah,
say you're communicating.
exactly what you're saying, like that. I just remember right now.
Mm-hmm.
Time spent with our colleagues. We should not live alone on a ship. We have some colleagues with our ship, right? We have to
Yes.
try to communicate with them.
Mm. Yeah, so
Spend time
exactly. So
from it.
so this is what you should not miss out on the question, otherwise it becomes like as if you are completely only about yourself. You don't care about what other people are communicating or not. You're just with your Wi-Fi, games, books, everything in your room locked. So that should not happen, because that can be a slight red kind of a sign. So be sure to mention communication with colleagues as well in this question. And if you have experience, as Rutik mentioned, with living in a hostel or PG, then you can definitely uh, you know go ahead and mention that as well. And you can even bring about certain things about this PG or hostel in your strengths as well. So you can even make you know loneliness being a lower probability or less severe as one of your strengths. So you can say, in the past, I have already had experience living in a hostel or PG for my education. So I have a very lower tendency of being struck with homesickness or loneliness in general. So you can bring this in the strengths and weaknesses also, because this is something that not many people might be able to say. So it gives you a very good boost in the interview. Okay, so we are coming on the 1 hour mark, so we'll be putting a close for today. And if you have any other questions or you need clarity on any of them which have been asked to anyone, you are free to ask it right now.
Avito, actually, will you please share that all questions on group?
Yeah, I'll share the list. I think I have a total of around 24 questions here, so I'll post that in the group. Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
Amston. So what you can do is you can also go back. I'll tell Gyan to upload this recording as well. So you, and I think Sarfaraz etc. have made their own personal notes for their upcoming greatest Eastern interview. So yeah, if you need another recap of this, it will be on YouTube after a few hours once Gyan uploads it. But apart from that, I've also will be posting all of the 24 questions on the Let's Learn WhatsApp group just for your reference. So I think we can end the meeting now.
Yes. Also,
Yeah.
thank you, Avito, for putting your effort. For,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Just
it,
trying to help
it
out.
really means a lot.
Yes, good night, Amston. Okay, good night,
Yeah.
guys.
Good night, guys. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, good night.